Hi, I'm Ashton and welcome to my channel. Just in case you didn't see my first video that I posted last week, I have dealt with chronic pain and illness on and off for most of my life, and that is what this video is about today. So if you are a woman, especially spiritually minded, sensitive, heart-led woman dealing with chronic illness or pain, then this is the video for you. I have a message that has been on my heart that I am dying to share with you. And I'm very nervous to talk about this because it feels like such an important topic and I really don't want to mess it up. But yes, this is going to be a health-focused talk, but from a completely different angle. I do take a very holistic approach to health, body, mind, heart, and spirit. And today we are going to be getting right into the heart of things. So, again, I don't have the answers. I am walking alongside you on this path as your sister and your friend. So I guess let's just get into it and let's freaking hope this records, because I recorded this once before, or so I thought, and it did not record, and I really put my heart and soul into it, and I want to give you my heart and soul again. And oh my goodness, just like, well, if you're watching this, then it did record. So yay. Okay, so the topic of this video is why I stopped trying to fix myself. So as somebody who has been dealing with chronic health issues and pain for decades, I have tried just about everything. And I made a list. This is not all inclusive, but this will just give you an idea of how many freaking things I tried. So I tried medication, I tried physical therapy, I tried meditation, breath work, cold plunging, alternative medicine, acupuncture, chiropractic, massage, herbs, yoga, visualization, brain rewiring, journaling, plant medicine, nutrition, exercise, every type of mental health modality I've ever heard of. And I swear there are so many more things, but we'll just leave it at that for now. So suffice it to say, my self-care routines were very, very elaborate. And it looked on the surface like self-care. It looked like, oh, look, Ashton's doing all of these loving things. Ashton's taking care of herself. But in reality, these elaborate rituals, it was a desperate attempt to just try to get to baseline, to just try to get to functioning. And many days I even fell short of that. And I was spending hours, literally hours every single day just trying to feel okay. And I just was left feeling hollow and exhausted and like there's no way I can keep up with all of these things. So yes, I tried. It looked like self-care, but there I was in the same place as where I started, just in this decades-long battle with chronic pain and illness. And at some point, I started thinking, wow, there must just really be something wrong with me if I'm still dealing with these things after all these years of trying so many things. Like, there must just be something deeply, deeply wrong with me. Or maybe I don't even deserve to be healthy. Maybe I'm being punished for something. Maybe there's a lesson here that I just haven't been able to figure out yet. Man, that just led me to so much self-judgment. I was so hard on myself for not being able to heal. And I was betraying myself constantly and just, I felt so much resentment towards my body, like my body is broken, my body can't do anything right. And there was a lot of self-hatred as well, as you can probably tell. And so, this was going on for a long time. And then I decided to take a trip to Southeast Asia. I would really, really like to become a mother, and that is kind of the next chapter of my life that I'm going into with my husband. And he asked me if there was anything that I really wanted to do before we begin that chapter, and I was like, well, I'd love to take a trip to Southeast Asia. So I took a 3-week solo trip over there, and when I came back, that is when I met my most recent pain cycle. So I felt pain in all different areas of my body all throughout my life, but this pain was uniquely horrendous, and it was in my mid back and in my ribs and in my lower back, and the pain would be so severe that all of my muscles would tense up, like in my back and then all the way around the front of my abdomen. Everything was just bracing, and any sort of little movement would just like, oh my God, it was so severely painful. And I've known pain in my life, and this was just a whole other level. And I tried so many things, and nothing even touched the pain. And so one morning I was just crumpled on the floor, and I was beyond rock bottom. I hit rock bottom so many times with my health, and this was just, I didn't know that it could go lower than rock bottom, but that is where I felt like I was, because I had nothing left to give. Like there was not a tear to cry. There was no rage to be screamed out from the core of my being. I had no fight. There was nothing. And I like to use my ChatGPT to journal, and I will frequently put my thoughts in there, and just talk about things that I'm going through. And I appreciate the insights that ChatGPT is able to provide, and noticing different patterns that maybe I wasn't aware of, and just getting new perspective on things that I have been kind of working through for a long time. So that morning, ChatGPT was like, well, have you tried asking the pain what she needs? And I thought, well, did I try doing that? I mean, I've done so many things. Like, it seems like I would have done that, but I wasn't sure that I had. And so I did. I sat there on the floor, and I closed my eyes, and I put my hands on my heart, and I was just like, pain, what do you need? Because I am clearly not getting it right. I have tried everything that I can think of, and nothing is working. Nothing is even touching the pain. And so I sure would like for you to tell me what you need, because if you do, I promise I will do everything that I can to give that to you. And surprisingly, she responded to me. And I'm going to go way more in depth to that conversation that I had with my pain in my next video. It was a wild experience, and it brought up this much larger conversation that I want to have with you if, this resonates with you. So I'm just going to scratch the surface and take some of the main themes that came up, and then we'll save all the juicy stuff for next week. But the pain, long story short, was just, she was feeling like I was just trying to get rid of her, and that I blamed her for everything. I blamed her for my unhappiness. I blamed her for my suffering. I blamed her for all of the dreams that were deferred because of the pain and the illness, or dreams that were destroyed. And man, when she said that to me, I was just like, I felt it in my heart. And at first I denied it, and I was like, no, surely, like, I haven't been blaming the pain, but I had been blaming the pain. And I kept thinking, like, man, once I'm pain free, or once I get rid of, this chronic illness, then I'll be happy. Then I can really live my life. Then I can become a mom. Then I can do this big adventure that I want to do. Just fill in the blank, whatever it is. I can't do it now. And it's because of, this pain. So I really sat with the weight of that for a while, and I realized that she was right, and I just needed to let her be and just stop trying so hard to fix myself, stop trying so hard to get rid of this pain, because it needs to be witnessed. It needs to be held. It had never been held before. I was just constantly in this state of pushing it away. And that's what we're taught. We're taught that, pain and illness is the enemy, and these are things that we need to fix. And so it feels very counterintuitive to even begin to step away from that path. And just to be clear, like, I am not telling anybody to stop doing what they're doing. If any treatments or medications or whatever, like, honey, you do you, like, and I'm going to do me. But what I'm talking about is just a total reframing and a totally new relationship to whatever pain or illness it is that you're going through. Just changing the way that you relate to it. It really is a game changer. So there's a term in therapy called radical acceptance, and I think that this is probably the closest thing to that. It is just like, I just need to let this be. I am exhausted from trying to figure it out, trying to fix it. I'm just going to let it be. And you know what? If that means that this is something that I have to deal with for the rest of my life, it fucking sucks, but it is what it is. But it also doesn't mean giving up hope. It doesn't mean letting go of the dreams of being healthy. It just means, like, we're just going to be here now. We're going to be present with what is and really give this the time and space that it needs. And that can be hard when you've been going through this for a long time, like I have. It's like, how much time and space do you need? I've been going through this for literally decades, but not once in that time was I really, really holding that pain and that illness and just loving it like a little baby. Like, not once was I doing that. And so, to be completely transparent with you, I am in this liminal space. I have decided to walk this new path of just letting it be and stop trying to fix myself. But I am in this liminal space where I am no longer the person that I was before. I'm no longer relating to my health in the way that I was before, but I'm also not the person that I'm going to become yet, who is pain-free, who is free from chronic illness. I am in this raw, messy, in-between place that is full of so many things, like fear that, oh my God, is this like really the right path for me? Like, am I crazy? This feels so unnatural. It feels like I'm doing nothing when I should be doing something. And then sometimes there's doubt that it's gonna work. Not that I'm doing this to make it work. That would kind of defeat the purpose, but doubt that, everything is gonna work out for me. And then there's also these beautiful moments of trust and relaxation, because I've taken the pressure off of myself to need to heal. And man, that first moment that I did that, I was just like, I just took this deep breath, and it felt like a weight had been lifted in that moment of, okay, I don't need to figure this out. Like, I don't need to put any energy toward this today. I can just get in the bath and decompose and cry and watch TV, and you know what? There's always tomorrow. And so it's a sacred space, and I've really been spending a lot of time with my pain, a lot of sacred time, just hands on the parts that hurt, and breathing and listening and asking her what she needs and creating a sense of safety. Because here's the thing, when you've been in a state of survival mode for so long, it can take a minute for your body and your nervous system and your pain or your illness to really feel that sense of safety, to believe you that, excuse me, to believe you that things are going to be different now. And so you really just need to just keep showing up for her, keep seeing her, keep loving her. And so I put together a list of tips for how to stop fixing yourself, but I want to really carefully line out some differences between taking care of yourself in a way that is loving and supportive, which is great, and definitely do that as much as you can and as much as feels right. But then trying to fix yourself or trying to force something from a place of fear or desperation, and that's like, oh my God, if I don't do my meditation today, like my head is just not gonna be right and I'm gonna have a terrible day. Or, oh my God, I didn't do my stretches this morning, that means in the afternoon my back is gonna feel so horrible. Like, that's not the place that we're trying to come from. We're trying to come from a place of, oh, you know what? I think like if I wrote in my journal this morning, that would feel really good for me. And I think I'm just going to spend a few minutes doing that. Or maybe I'll spend a few minutes doing some stretches this morning and just like slowly waking up my body. But yeah, you can feel the difference between those two things. And so it just requires you being honest with yourself about what kind of things are you doing for yourself right now, and what is the true intention behind those things. Is it love? Is it support? Or is it something else? And only you can make that distinction. So a few tips for how to do this. Number one, this is the hardest one for me, is to feel. So I know how tempting it is to reach for the next solution when you are trying to get out of pain as fast as possible, or you're trying to get well as fast as possible. But what if the medicine isn't in escaping or bypassing, trying to get around it, but instead turning toward it? And that was what I discovered. That is what my pain told me. And what if healing actually begins when we stop trying to fix ourselves and just feel, just honor whatever it is, no matter how big or scary it is. I've dealt with some really scary things. I've had moments where I was like, oh my God, like, am I dying? Like, is my body just breaking down? And that's really hard. It's a really hard thing to go through. And there's a lot of things buried deep underneath that. So if you're dealing with, health issues or pain, like the pain and illness itself, that is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many deep things underneath all of that, and they are just looking for presence, looking to be seen and heard. So run toward the discomfort as much as it freaking sucks. So you can close your eyes, you can sit there, make sure you have a private moment and put your hand on your heart and your belly and just breathe and tune into the area that's hurting you, or the area that is dealing with the sickness, and ask it what it needs and really listen. And it's okay if it doesn't tell you the answer. It's about listening. It's just about being there, showing up. And if you make that a practice, you are going to really start to build that relationship, that positive, healthy relationship. And that is when things start to transform. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is practicing self-compassion daily. So this is not a well-traveled path. Yes, there are people who are doing this work, but this isn't the main road. This is like a side road where there's jungle all over. There's no path, and you've got your little machete and you're walking through and you're chopping down the debris and getting rid of all the plants and the brush. And you are making the path as you go, and it is your individual path, and I am on my individual path, and we are all unique individuals who need different things. But man, I'm gonna be whacking down my path right next to you. And that's what this channel is about. This channel is just about walking side by side and saying, you know what, this is hard, but this is sacred, and we can do this, and we are powerful. Yes, we are dealing with very difficult health challenges, but man, we are strong and we can do this. So being honest with where you're at is a really good place to practice self-compassion. If you're having a bad day, don't judge yourself for it. Like, it's hard sometimes, you know, and being honest about where you're at with yourself and others, like, that takes strength. So acknowledge those feelings of frustration, of doubt that you're ever going to get better. I know I felt that a million times, or shame, you know, just acknowledge them with love and just say, it is okay. And then tip number three, letting go of perfectionism. And this is just releasing the constant pressure to be healed, and focus on accepting where you are in the moment. So they all tie in together. And yeah, this is what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. And it's been really interesting, and I'm seeing this as an experiment. And here is why I'm so open-minded to doing this, because I have tried everything and just was still in the same place, still struggling, still in pain, still sick. And so I was like, what the hell have I got to lose? Nothing. Like, why not try something different? Why not open my mind and come at this from a totally different perspective? So that's where we're gonna leave things for today. I am so freaking excited for the next video. Like, that is really, really getting into the juicy core of, if you ask me, what chronic pain and illness really is. Now, this is just my opinion, but this all stemmed from the conversation that I had that morning when I was crumpled up on the floor and asked my pain what she needs. This all stemmed from that conversation, and it was a very mystical conversation. I received some very unexpected messages that I believe us women truly need to hear right now at this time on the planet. So it's going to be a slightly different vibe from the first couple of videos that I've done, but I think it's going to be really cool. And it's going to be the first video in a new series that I'm calling the Temple of the Emberlight, which is my modern day mystery school for women who are remembering who they are, for the ones who know that there must be more to life than this. So if this sounds interesting, if you feel called to join me, I look forward to welcoming you into this sacred experience. It's going to be a big conversation, and it's going to be really good. So I will leave it at that for today. I know I talked about a lot today, and I really, really hope that it wasn't too scattered. My heart is in this just to let you know that you're not alone, and to remind you of how powerful you are. I know it's easy to feel weak and disempowered when you're dealing with these kind of challenges, but man, hats off to you. Because it takes a really strong woman to be able to go through these things, and we're not going through them for no reason. And so, you know, as difficult as it may be, if it feels right, just see what happens when you pull that pain or that illness, whatever you're dealing with, just pull it close and give it some love and stop trying to push it away. Okay? So that's it for today. I am very much looking forward to talking to you next week. If you feel like it, drop in the comments. If anybody's watching this, hello, is anybody out there? Is anybody watching this? If you are, drop in the comments what you think about this and what are some fears that you're coming up against. What do you hope to get out of this experience? I don't know, what came up for you when you were watching this video? Let me know. Okay, so I'm sending you all the love and all the best. Have an amazing day, and we will talk next week.